Getting old is not what it's all cracked up to be. One day you're young, cutting mufflers off things. The next, you're just putting mufflers back on. It's gonna happen to you kids, I promise. So this right here, guys, is my Kubota swapped Argo Centaur. Now this originally came with a little 3-cylinder diesel turbo. Unfortunately, I never got that when I purchased it. I kind of bought it as a roller. So I decided, like all rational people would do, stuff a straight inline 4-cylinder mechanical injection Kubota V2203 diesel motor into it, because that is what normal people do. So we actually bumped up the power quite a bit. It went from around a 32, 34 horsepower unit, 58 foot-pounds of torque. Right now we have around a 50 horsepower unit with around 110 to 120 foot-pounds of torque. Kind of a gray area, can't really get dead on accurate numbers offline, but it's around there somewhere. And this thing is absolutely unstoppable. I've dubbed it the Plow Pig because pretty much all it does right now is just plow snow around the yard, and it does it very well. I'm super impressed with how this is kind of turning out. This was kind of like a shakedown winter. Essentially, I've done a bunch of work with it. This winter we've had a bunch of snow, which is crazy, and it's working fairly well. It showed me a few things that I want to upgrade. Essentially, when I was building this thing, kind of tried to do it on the cheap because I didn't really know of another Kubota V2203 that someone used CVT style clutches on. Plus this unit is actually hydrostatic driven as well for the steering alone, I should say. It has a gearbox, but hydrostatic drive for turning left and right. I had to run my own type of chain driven system off that I want to upgrade in the future to a belt. But you will be seeing all that in the future. For today's episode, I want to take care of a couple different things. One, like most Argos and recreational vehicles in and of itself, very, very little storage. Now, this unit actually has a tub in the back where you could kind of mount, I don't know, I think it'd be a cool spot for like to make a flat deck in the future, probably a little jib crane or something like that. It would be cool, seeing that I own a fabrication company, that I could probably put my mobile welding setup in the back and probably go do some remote work if that ever arose. But of course, that's way further down the line. So what we're actually going to do today is I'm actually going to make a roof rack for this thing, and I want to take care of the lighting situation as well. So I'm going to integrate lighting into the roof rack as well. These lights are very, very poor. I'm not sure if they just kind of dulled over the years, or they were just that crappy from factory. I'm not really sure. Another issue, of course, as you can see, I probably overcompensated a little bit on the blade. But once the blade is actually fully up, they do an amazing job at illuminating the back of my blade. So can't really see anything with the blade up. So we're gonna kind of jump up to the top, and I've taken a bunch of measurements, and I've already designed this whole thing in MAD, which is Mitch aided design, and I've put it in CAD, which is computer aided design. And apparently computers and humans can work together simultaneously and in harmony, I guess. So what we're going to do, I'll run you through the lights I have, and then we'll load up the plasma table and we'll cut it all out. There's quite a bit of bending that I don't really know if I can do here with my brake, but we're going to find out. So let's run through what I actually have for lights. So guys, what we have here is our lights. Now, I guess you could say this was sponsored by Santa Claus, because a lot of this was under the Christmas tree when I woke up with my pajamas on Christmas morning. So, what we have for lights, well, this is an old light bar I had kicking around upstairs here. To be quite honest with you, I don't even know if it fully works. It was on my previous plow truck, which was a Ford Ranger, and that thing took a beating. So, I'm gonna put this on the back of the rack for reverse lighting. I'm thinking I'm gonna wire all this in just so it's full on all the time for what it is. This is just an Amazon kit that comes with 2 slim bars, LED light bars, and it comes with these 4 pods. Now I'm actually gonna take the 4 pods and put them up front of the machine because I think they would look cooler than these 2 little slim light bars. Maybe, that's the way I've designed it. I mean, it would look cool, but I think I have something better in mind. I think I'm gonna put these on the side. and that's actually going to be illuminating both sides of the machine. Now, since we're gone this far and we're wasting all this time and money into a rack, we may as well put a backup camera in this thing as well, because believe it or not, although this is kind of like a zero turn type unit, can't see shit out of the back of this thing. So we will be integrating that as well into the rack. So now that I have you all caught up on that, we're going to load up the machine. I'm going to be using 1/8 aluminum sheet plate. We're going to cut out the design. Then it's off to the bender to do a lot of braking and bending and a lot of fabrication, I guess. So let's hit that. So I've already went through the CAM process, created the G code for this, have it loaded up in Fire Control, which is Langmuir Systems kind of operating system. Right now, all I have designed is the front, the back, and the 2 sides. I have an idea for the center that I'll show you guys. Hopefully it works out in my game plan here. But for now, we're going to cut those 4 pieces. We have the 1/8 loaded up here. What we're going to do, I'm just going to come over and find where I want to kind of zero my axis, which usually is the top left corner for myself. That's just kind of like where I like to put it. So the cuts seem like they came out great. I'm gonna bring them over to the table. We're just gonna clean them up a bit, and then I'll walk you through what I got in mind to break all this. Now I got the extraction fan going, guys, just to get a bit of smoke out of here. These do have water tables. That does help with the smoke and trapping the fumes that come off from cutting metal, but the best thing that I would think to be an upgrade for a plasma table will probably be like a downdraft with an exhaust fan that actually exhausts through the bottom, I guess you would say, and out through the side of your shop. The water table does really good. There's a lot of different companies out there that actually use water tables. So while we're waiting for all that smoke to kind of dissipate, this is what I kind of come up with. Now these here are 2 sides. What I'll do, I'll end up having to break this, and this is actually going to be our mounting location. There'll be a couple holes in this, and I'll screw that down to the roof. That'll be the side. This here, that I've actually integrated the PLOW Pig logo into, that's going to be the front. Now the way these cube lights are kind of designed, they actually have a mount that bolts here. As you can see, there's a nut inside. You mount there, so you have your slotted hole for adjustment kind of up and down. But it requires a mounting tab to actually mount the light to. So what I've actually done in my CAD, I've created this little contour here. So hopefully, I haven't bent anything like this before, so this is a trial and error for me. I'll be able to bend this back. That'll give me my proper opening for the light, and it'll also give me a mounting tab to mount that too. Now realistically, obviously I didn't need all that material. I could have cut that out. I said for what it is, I may as well just have that amount of room in case I had to move the hole one way or another, or I want these to sit further out or further in. If I like a flush look, or if I want to move them out and tip them down, it gives me a little bit of play area in case I kind of mess up or I want to adjust in the future. So I'm hopeful I'll be able to bend that. This here, this is our back. I integrated the tabs yet again that I'm hoping I can put that in there, bend those tabs back on a 90, and that's actually going to mount inside that piece. Now I've also added a bit of green down here on top and bottom that'll actually break just a little touch. And what that does, that stiffens up the material. I'll walk you through that when we actually start breaking it. Perhaps what I'm actually going to do first, I'm going to clean all this before we actually go to that step. So bear with me. So firstly, all I'm going to do, guys, is just kind of get that excess water that came from the water table off of this the best I can. So what we're going to be using is actually this type of rotary polisher. You can buy these in all different grits. These are great, and they differ from a regular grinder because of course your regular grinding disc kind of goes this way, where your handle would be like this, your trigger would be down. This one is more for finishing, but I like using it just to get a little bit of a burr and to clean up as best I can before bringing it to the next process, which of course would be breaking it. Now, of course, guys, that's not the finished end result, but it allows you to kind of get rid of these little bit of burrs, because once you're measuring and once you're kind of trying to fit it up and actually put it in the brake, one of these burrs can actually throw you off a little bit. So it's best just to clean it up when it comes right off the table, and then do your final finishing touches once everything is kind of broke and fitted and all your holes are drilled, etc., etc. Then you finish cleaning it up. When it comes to finer, smaller cuts like this, you have to be very careful with that, because what ends up happening, you'll actually hook one of these little tiny pieces and it could bend, could break off, could actually ruin the design there. So you kind of have to be really careful. I'm sure there's someone watching this and kind of saying, well, where's the mounting holes? Well, being that it's aluminum and being that I've never designed kind of anything for Argo Centaur roof rack, I figure it'll be easier just to kind of put it in place, tweak it, square it, and then drill the holes. Aluminum is very easy to work with when it comes to cutting or drilling holes or kind of making a hole bigger or anything like that. So I didn't incorporate any holes in the initial design for the table to cut out, just because I feel like it'll be a little bit easier to do. Just clamp it in place, drill it in place. In the not so likelihood that anybody else would probably want one of these for their Centaur, because there's not a hell of a lot of Centaurs around, I could integrate that into the program when it's all said and done. Now, of course, it's not formed yet, but it's going to sit something like that, but it's not formed yet, so it will look a little bit cooler, I hope. I decided to go straight up with this design as opposed to following the roof angle, just because I feel like this roof is kind of, or the windshield, I guess, surround, or the front piece, kind of tipped back too far. So I think it would look cooler if it was kind of straight up on this type of machine. But we will see when it's done. Because we are over at our break, and just kind of making a game plan here, because the way your brake kind of works is that if you bend the wrong piece first, it could be a conflicting brake on your next brake from your previous brake. That was a long way around that. But what could end up happening if you bend the wrong thing at the wrong time, the next spot that you brake, that could be in the way. So I've been kind of coming up with a game plan on what the best way to go about this is. So I think these tabs here, I think I can get away with bending those last. I think I'm going to bend the front piece, an angle here I want to find before I go any further. Now, as you can see, I have these 4 relief cuts, and I'll show you what they're for now in a second. I said previously that when you break a piece of sheet plate, it actually adds rigidity to it. So that's what I'm first going to do here. I'm going to break this bottom. I'm just going to break the top a little bit and see how that comes out. Now I'm only going to be doing a 1/2 inch lip on this one. Now unfortunately, my brake here does not have a backstop, so we kind of got to do it old school and try to get it as close as I can. So that's kind of all I wanted to achieve there, was just to break this little bit back. That gives it quite a bit more rigidity. Along with this bottom piece, I wanted to fold that out a little touch, and it worked out okay. A little bit not the best in the middle, but I think what it is this adjustable V-die that I made quite a few years ago is kind of come to the end. I kind of need to make a bigger, heavier version of those, but for what we're trying to achieve today, I think that'll be fine. This is what I had envisioned in my head here. Of course, it needs to be cleaned up and touched up a little bit, but that's going to be kind of front and center. And the reason I kind of want to integrate these brakes was now that this light can actually shine that way, and then you have two up front, along with the sides. When we powder coat this black, it'll look a lot nicer. I'm going to try to bend those tabs now, I believe. That's the next challenge. May play with it a little bit further. But let's see what we can come up with. So this is pretty much what I had envisioned for this. Now, of course, I still need to bend our tabs here on front and all around, but that's pretty much what I had in my head. Now it does still need a little bit of massaging, a little bit of tweaking. I think that looks cool. I think that's a pretty cool roof rack. Now, of course, we're still missing the center. I have an idea for that. I may even have to come in here and add a couple little tabs if I feel like when it's all bolted together and screwed to the machine, it's still a little bit lively. That's something you have to do with sheet plate. We could have made this out of like 1/4 inch thick, but it would be like a $4,000 roof rack, and I don't want to spend that amount of money. So I'm going to see what this looks like on the machine just as it sits. Bear with. That's kind of what I had in my mind. Still not super sure if I like how I got this kind of kicked up in the middle. It kind of looks like a crown or something. I don't know. I don't know if I'll share that off. I might just live with it, to be quite honest with you. It does add a little bit of structural rigidity. So like I was saying, guys, as you can see, I'm not really sure. Maybe when it's all black. Now, once again, of course, these have to be cut out. We'll see what that kind of entails. But I could shove it out here and have a little bit of a gap in this location, or I can make a filler piece to go inside, or I could just shove it back this way. And this is where the issue kind of arose with those light bars. If I would have known the difference, probably I could have got shorter ones, but hey, here we are. So I can have it protruding off the back a bit, and then up front, I think I like it a bit better up front. Worst comes to worst, I could add just a piece on the bottom, or I could come down here with a filler piece, maybe on both sides, and it wouldn't look as bad. From this side, it doesn't look that bad anyways, because we have our stack there. On the other side, it looks kind of a little bit open. As you can see here. But I just really wanted to get those light bars in the side. I could have shortened it up, of course, the same distance, let's say, as the strip rail here. But I really wanted to get the light bars in there. So that's kind of what we're up against. Now, like I said, I could come down here with a filler piece. I could even build a piece down here if I wanted to. But for what it is, I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of overdoing it. I'm not really sure. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all that apart again, and I'm going to try to bend these points. I'm going to actually try to put the light bars and everything in there, drill those holes, and then have a second look. So it kind of works. It kind of works, but it kind of doesn't. So what I have here are these different sets of dies. Now I've made sure that this one's about 1.5 inches, which is the same size as this tab. The only issue is I never took into account that I wouldn't have enough angle. So I'll show you what happens. It kind of works, but it kind of doesn't. So it kind of hits there, and that's that's the max I can go with it, unfortunately. But I guess we just got to get a little bit physical with it, with a little bit of a clamp or a vise or something. Just get a little bit of manual labor in here, but that's kind of what I meant. Now I can just drill a hole here, and then the light bar slips in, and that's your mount. So kind of worked out. That was the first time I ever tried that, and I know what to look for on the next one. So I've come to the conclusion that I don't like that design. This is the first time I tried this. I figured I'd try it on my own stuff before customer stuff, and I realized that I don't really like it. It's okay for the tabs, the smaller tabs that were on these, because I could kind of just physically manhandle them and put them into shape. I could get them so far to probably like a 45, and then I can just bend them the rest of the way. I'm happy with how they turned out on the smaller items, but this front one, what I've realized is that I have to move my dies in each location. Now that's not a huge deal, but the way it kind of bends, it just, I'm not happy with it. I shouldn't have done it this way. I'm gonna continue with this piece just because I have it done, and I'll massage it back into shape. But definitely wasn't the right call on that one, but this is the only way I learn. I usually gotta kind of have something in my head, see if it's going to work, screw it up, and then fix it, and then not do it again, I guess. Or do it again in a different way and realize that it's just not going to work. That's just what I do. So I'm going to keep bending this, keep making it work. I will win, but unfortunately, not the right way to do this one. So this is kind of what I envisioned. That's pretty much it. Now, of course, it's just laid together, it's clamped together. I like it. I think it looks good. I'm still undecided about this. I might just cut that flat. I'm not sure yet. I don't know, maybe when it's black, it wouldn't look so bad, but it kind of looks like I was trying to make like a crown or something. I don't know, I don't really like it, but I gotta see. I might end up living with that. I don't know. Now, another thing is, like I said previously, due to the length of these light bars, this was kind of the dimensions I was kind of stuck with. So I'm not sure if I like it stuck out like that. I could probably make a filler piece for here, and I could probably just half it up here on the back. Like, this doesn't look too bad, even with this little bit of overhang, but it looked worse when it was out further, in my opinion, that I would have had to mess around with probably a filler piece or something. But I think I could probably just live with this a bit more so with that stuck out as opposed to on the back. And then, I don't know, at least this spotlight is up here closer. But you can see what I was kind of going for here with this little break. It would have been just as easy, of course, to go right across straight, but with this little break here, that light shines, say, that way, hypothetically. But yeah, now I will say, the way I designed those tabs, I made it work, but I've done unspeakable things to kind of get it looking the way it is there now. I got a little bit of cleanup left to do here. I am planning on powder coating all this black, but I won't be doing this again. I can't say that, you know, because 9 chances out of 10, I don't learn from my mistakes, and I will do that again. But I feel if I would have made a smaller tab, just quite a bit smaller, instead of contouring that out and putting that whole piece back, I think it would have worked a lot better. I think it would have been pretty much perfect. So I screwed up on that as well. But it's coming together. I kind of like it. I think it looks cool. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What were you kind of do? Like, it's pretty easy. I'm going to put a couple of riv nuts, perhaps probably 4 or 6 down the sides. And that's going to have to solidify to the cab itself. But I could always just re-drill a hole and move it back, or even slotted holes to adjust it to my liking. But I think I can live with that out there a bit. Maybe just a filler piece, even if I put a flat piece in here. That's for future Mitch. And I'm going to tell you, future Mitch hates present day Mitch quite drastically. All right, so let's blow this apart. Maybe I'll take a few more measurements because I still want to put something in the middle, of course. That's just the perimeter of the rack. And then we can start powder coating. This is going to be kind of the middle main structure, I want to say, of our rack. So the reason I like these, as you can see, is that, well, you can put 2 Milwaukee packouts here. They're stackable, of course, but this does give you a lot of tie down points as well. If you didn't want to run that, you can run kind of bungee cords or ratchet straps or anything over there, of course. I may end up coming in here at a later date, a stiffener, but I kind of have an idea in my head I want to try with that as well. So I'm not going to really tackle that just now, but that's the plan. So essentially that's going to be in the middle of the rack. Now I put it this way because I figured you could just get out of the door, just stand on your track and just open that up if you needed to get anything. I think that'd be really cool. Kind of hard to slide when it's not bolted down. This is pretty much the finished result of our roof rack. As you can see, up top we have that Milwaukee packout bracket. I'll just bring you guys up a bit. Now I might end up coming in here and adding a brace or two, front and back. Not exactly sure yet. It's pretty tight, it works out really, really well. I still got to figure out if I'm going to jog the rack back this way. Or if I'm just going to leave it like this. I think I like it like this for now. So what I'm actually going to do right now, guys, is that I'm going to explode all this. I'm going to take all this apart, and what's going to be a few hours for me is actually going to be a couple seconds for you guys. I'm going to explode it. I'm going to drill a bunch of holes, and I'm going to powder coat it. And the next time you see this, it'll be black. Not sure if it'll be, maybe I'll bring you guys along to install it on the machine. But for me, like I say, it's gonna be a couple hours work. For you guys, it's just gonna be a quick time lapse or something perhaps. So let's hit that. You guys know exactly when to show back up, hey, when the work's done. So this is what it came out like. Now, if I'm being quite honest with you guys, I kind of cheaped out. I didn't want to spend the extra time and material to kind of coat something that you weren't going to see. This is on top of the roof, and can't really see it anyways. And you know, if you have a Milwaukee packout or something in there, then what's the point of having it black? So that's my excuse. I cheaped out. But other than that, I think it came out great. Powder coated in what's called like a black carbide texture, and that should be really rugged in around trees and whatnot, or in around my yard, because pretty much all it does is plow snow. So with all that being said, I bet you're curious what it looks like on the machine, and so am I, because I haven't had it on there yet. So let's get set up and throw it up there, and we can kind of at least have a look at it. Hey, now of course we're just going to lay this up here preliminarily, something like that. Oh, it's kind of after getting quite a bit heavier with all the lights on there. I think we're gonna kind of just half this up just a little bit. Oh yeah, that looks good. might just kind of do something like this. I think this is where it's going to live its life, right here. Yeah, I can live with that. That's pretty cool. I still don't know if I'm exactly super struck on this. I left it there, but yeah, I like it. I like it. I can live with it. What do you guys think? Yeah, I dig it. I do like it a lot, actually. I like it a lot. I think it came up good. Still not super stoked on that top little thing there, but I think that's how it's going to stay. That's going to be a wrap for today's video. I'm sure you're really wondering what this looks like when it's all lit up. So am I. So in the next video, we're going to wire all this in, finish hard mounting it. We still have to put the backup camera on there, but I think we're gone this far. I'm gonna have to make some sort of custom switch plate inside to control all this. I may just have like constant power on, and essentially all the LEDs are just gonna be all on at the same time. But other than that, I do have some clutch parts on the way. Like I said before, this thing only revs at 2800 RPM max. That's its max RPM. That's where it makes peak horsepower, and it's internally governed, so it won't go over that. So I've been playing with clutching quite a bit because most things kind of engage at 2800 RPM. This one is wide open at 2800 RPM. So I do have some clutch rebuild parts and new parts coming in, so we'll touch on that on a later video, of course. If you stuck around till the end of the video, I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one.